All right. So first up is public comment. There's no one in the room. There's no one online. Oh, Maria says she thinks it's good. Maria? Hi, you're on speaker.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So next up is the harbor master report.
Wonderful. We'll share my screen and we'll get right into it.
Hi, you can hear us, right?
Okay, yeah,
We just
is
have
someone talking?
not yet.
Yeah, it's Marty.
Talking to it. Hey, Maria, it's Pete. I'm going to start with the harbor master report, and I'm also sharing my screen, but happy to send you the slides after too.
Okay, I
Um,
can't, how come it says on the website and the town? It just says, it's remote only.
on the town's website.
Yeah.
That's what I mentioned to you.
Interesting.
Oh, I didn't see that.
I wonder if it was posted incorrectly. That's okay. Maria, I'm going to text you a link, Maria, that might work for you just to see the screen.
Okay.
Let me know if that comes
No,
through.
Download Teams right now.
Yeah, no.
Oh,
it's
okay.
fine. It's good.
Okay, great. I'll send you the slides, Maria, and walk you through them when you have a chance. I will speak visually. So first we'll talk about harbor activity report in today's report. So I just thought it'd be helpful to provide you folks every 2 weeks with a list of things that happened in the harbor that caught my attention. And I welcome you to also give me things that you'd like me to keep track of that happened. So starting 2 weeks ago, we launched M1. On Thursday last, there was a fire at the pier in Wellfleet, a fishing vessel that was docked there, had an electrical fault at 5:30 in the morning. Roughly 100 firefighters from everywhere responded to it.
So that's confirmed the fire started on the vessel, not the pier.
It is not confirmed where the fire started. There's arcing on both the wires in the vessel, of course, and also on the pier, but we can't, the fire investigator I spoke to yesterday couldn't tell technically origination point. The pier circuit's definitely tripped, but that could be for, so it's inconclusive yet. And I don't know if his report is preliminary or final, but based on the damage to the vessel, which was nearly complete, it did sink, although they managed to pump out all of the contaminants beforehand and had booms deployed. It did sink, and the pier was relatively the very end of their first pier that kind of sticks out facing the harbor entrance. So sort of a whole corner of it is charred, and we'll have to be replacing pilings and pieces of wood, the decking and the side panels there. But for a unattended complete vessel fire, they got off pretty lucky. There are about 30 knots of wind blowing directly from the burning vessel along the length of the pier, but it had been kind of drizzly and rainy and cold that whole morning. So certainly something that got our attention at Macmillan. And we're going to do an after action with the Wellfleet folks, and then also bring our fire and PD into it as well. And it will inform our drills that we do when we have our seasonal staff starting soon.
Sure.
But any other questions about that? I could also ask for a follow-up from folks if we
No,
need to.
you've talked to, obviously, I know you've talked to Noah, you talked to the Winklers and.
I haven't talked to the Winklers specifically yet about this, but Noah and I spoke to the fire investigator at the site last Tuesday, this week. But good reminder, stuff happens. Make sure your circuit breakers are working. We have electrical issues that are being addressed with the safety grant that we got at the pier. And that work should be starting relatively soon. I think we're still in the scheduling phase, but that's also not, that's Jamie's department and she has that schedule. Also big in the last 2 weeks, a scallop fishery opened in the northern Gulf of Maine, which dramatically increased transient activity at the pier. And so we have been stepping up our foot patrols around the pier. Katie in our office has been doing an excellent job making sure these folks have updated contact info and if they're getting invoices appropriate to their time and offloading. So that's going well. We haven't had any true, incidents, so to speak. The Ghost Gear haul out program has begun. So if you're familiar with this, the Center for Coastal Studies uses sonar and drags to find dumped lobster traps and other types of gear in the harbor and in the bay. There's a lot of it at Long Point every year. And so they've begun pulling those traps out of the water and piling them at the end of the T head. They've also got a dumpster that they'll begin sorting and putting the gear in and recycling with that which they can. If anyone wants any lobster traps or know anyone who wants old fishing gear, some of it's still in good shape, some of it's from last year, and the lines got detached. It's there at the end of the pier. They will probably wrap that up around the beginning of May, but that dumpster is located out there for now. And we've put it in a place where the fishermen say it's not in their way. Yesterday, Katie and I in our office grappled with the onlinemooring.com system, and we have a 2-year contract with that system. And so this is our second year, and we are deeply evaluating its future and user friendliness for our mooring users. But because of the 2-year contract and because the stuff's already loaded and it being late in the season, we decided to walk people through it this year if they needed it. 385 emails went out, and we've already gotten probably 20% of folks have either responded or completed their renewals. And we will follow up with them to make sure that the ones who don't aren't having computer problems, because I know that was an issue last year. And Katie's proven to be quite the hand at it. She gets on the phone with them, she talks them through it, she does it for them, she can collect payment over the phone. So even folks for whom they don't want to use their computers, they don't have to, and we can still get their permits renewed. Yesterday, afternoon through the early morning, we had gale conditions, long forecast by NOAA, so we were prepared. A transient boat did get stuck under the pier briefly on the rising tide, but we used M1 to pull it out, and there's no damage to the boat or the pier. I'm sure other stuff happened too in the last 2 weeks. Who's got stuff that they saw or are curious about?
I think that's Maria.
Anything on your end, Maria?
No, I'm good.
Cool.
I think this is very comprehensive. Thank you. I appreciate it.
My pleasure. I'm going to give you vessel status every week. Sometimes it'll be no change. But as of between the last meeting and this one, we did launch Marine 1. She got fully worked over by a Mercury certified mechanic and had fresh bottom paint applied and fresh zincs, which are those sacrificial pieces of metal that degrade before the hull degrades. And so those we replace every year. We are keeping her as per last year. The Long Point Marina, Barry Clifford's place, there's a very skinny dock right up against McMillan where she can sit, bow out, ready to go. Apparently we used it last year. I'm not sure if it's an easement or what, but I was told that's the arrangement. So we're going with it. Barry seemed happy to have it back. The engines have about 200 hours on them now, and they are in excellent shape. All systems are go on the boat. Recent uses, we've begun surveying the moorings out in the harbor. More will go in, of course, as the season goes on, but the ones that were floating, we have photographed and are going to add to our survey database. Been doing harbor patrols, been seeing a lot of whales, been checking on vessels to make sure they have what they need and they're not in distress. We use it as a platform for a commercial fisherman survival training at the Coast Guard Pier last Thursday. The state divers kind of huddled in it while folks jumped in the water in immersion suits. Myself and Milos on our staff participated in that training. It was very fun. If you've never jumped in a survival suit, it's genuinely warm. It's very nice.
Did you pay? Sorry.
Yeah, doing it in a raging storm would be terrifying, but in these conditions, it was great. We've also begun just familiarizing our new pier and harbor staff, yours truly included, with the general harbor environment. So have gone out with the Shellfish Constable, with NOAA and other locals who know the harbor well, just pointing out hotspots, and beginning to plan for drills and training on rescues you may have to perform around the harbor. And we used it to tug a fishing boat out from underneath McMillan Pier last night. She's going great. And I would love to offer members of the harbor committee a harbor tour on Marine 1. So I will circulate an email to all of you after this and just come sign up. I mean, today is a nice day. So if you want to, after this meeting, go down to the harbor, we can go on a tour.
Sure.
Okay.
I love that.
And Maria, I'm not forgetting about you.
Okay.
You're invited too, whenever you want. You just email me, text me, whatever you want.
Okay.
Vessel status report continuing. Marine 2, no change since last report. I have continued to look at it, and it is almost ready to go in the water. I just want to power wash the bottom and paint the bottom, which I can do, or we'll probably have some seasonal staff help too, so they can get familiar with those processes. But otherwise, she stands ready. Remainder of fleet, so 2 decisions. M3, which has that Evinrude outboard. We are going to launch it and use it as our backup boat, breakwater rescue boat, after consulting with Noah and others who have done many breakwater rescues. I think it's a good platform for it. In Noah's words, because, quote, we don't care about it if it gets banged up, which is truer than any other boat we have, although not true in the aggregate. And also, it currently runs. So I will remark that we are running on borrowed time with that engine, but when we get to the budget update, and especially the next meeting, I hope we can have like a longer term view of what to do with that and put us in a good position for breakwater rescues, which, as I understand it, will be our bread and butter. The former Marine one, the twin Honda center console, decision is to surplus it out. And so we will be auction format, advertising widely. The goal is to have it sold by June 1st. And a number of folks in town have, reached out to me and said they would be interested. And so I'm gonna make sure that they hear about the auction and that it's all well publicized so that anyone who wants to participate can do so. And the goal is to get it to a new home, get it off of our books, and also, whenever possible, recoup some monies for the town's use. Remainder of fleet continues, derelict vessels. We have 2 currently, not counting perhaps a couple kayaks and dinghies saved over the winter. I've now been on these boats. Last meeting, I had not been able to get on them because there was no boat in the water. But so Lightfoot, I'm sure many of you are familiar with Lightfoot. I also had a call with Don German to get the full backstory of how we came to possess Lightfoot. In my experience as a sailor who loves old crummy sailboats, we should say, Lightfoot is a beautiful classic, which in the right hands could be turned into a little gem. People really love the Tartan brand. They're very well made. Yeah, it's the inside is rough. I will be honest. If I was younger and dumber, I'd take this on as a project. But again, auction format, widely advertised. Goal is to find it a good home, get it off the town's hands, and recoup whatever. I will not offer a value for any of these boats. You can't make me, but more than $1, maybe, if we're lucky. Innisfree, 25-foot. I have an ish. There's an S. There's an H.
No, it's not. It's Irish.
Oh. Oh, Innisfree. What does it mean?
Free Island.
Oh, cool. It is a typical boat of its size. It's in relatively good order on the outside. There's a rusted padlock keeping me out of it. I'm going back with an angle grinder soon to get into it. Both boats, my observations, are floating very well on their lines. They don't appear to be taking on water, which is kind of a miracle given that they've been outside all winter with no one seeming to care about them. So they're not in any imminent, and I added some fenders after these photos were taken, so they're no longer rubbing themselves too hard against the attenuator, especially when we have westerly gales, which we seem to be doing a lot. But same thought, surplus, auction, good home, off our books. And anyone who you know who's interested in any of these vessels, my email, I'll also make sure you folks all know when the auctions go up so that everyone can participate. Staffing updates, I showed you this last time, but it's no longer March. So we have defined roles and responsibilities. We are now in April. We've got 4 positions posted between pier and harbor teams on the website. I'm gonna go through them in a couple slides. Jamie, unfortunately, is out on not feeling well this week. And so hopefully she is back to full strength next week and we can do interviews. Our plan is to, under the motto, 1 pier, 1 harbor, 1 team, we want everyone to consider themselves part of the pier and harbor team. And so Jamie, Katie, and I will use a questionnaire and interview everybody who applies to positions and then come to a team agreement on the priority hires and make offers in that order until we have the team complete. Here are pier positions. Seasonal pier patrol, similar to I think what you folks have experienced in the past, and then seasonal pier maintenance tech supervisor. So that same person, plus they're very handy. And we can have them tackling all of the small maintenance issues while Foth and our electrical contractors work on the major upgrades. I'll let this sit for a second and
Can I ask a question about that?
please.
So I was looking at the town report and what the deputy assistant harbor masters made.
Mhm.
And it was all $3,000 for the season. That's nothing. So no wonder we're not getting who's gonna work for $3,000 for the season. And so I'm not sure if that's accurate information but
Yeah.
either we're slippery, very understaffed. There's a booklet right down here.
Yeah. I've not heard yeah, I've not, sorry that the text is small. I've not heard the salaries quoted as seasonal. I've heard them quoted as hourly. And so,
No, they are hourly, but I'm saying, so like, if you're working hourly and you're only making $3,000 for the season, like, that's like a high school kid, like, you know, that's.
that's only 120 hours for the
Yeah,
deputy position
but that's what I'm
for the
saying.
season.
Very understaffed. So. is
Yeah.
that like an accurate-
That's only 3 weeks of full-time pay, and we're envisioning 10+ weeks. So, and the money's in the budget to cover,
Well, that was my question.
Yes.
That we have the money for budget.
yep. So the season, and Jamie can speak to her staffing plans on the peer side. So I'm showing the peer positions now. Peer patrol is 2117 until July 1, and then all town staff have a COLA bump starting after July 1. That was part of the staffing plan. So I don't know what it's
Yeah,
a dollar or two.
like assistant harbor master. $26,081, assistant harbor master, $1,900 or $1,494.
And yeah, this source information. Let me just take a look.
So I just, want to make sure that we're giving people enough hours.
Oh, these were, okay. This is the historical, what we paid for is this fiscal
I
25?
believe.
So this is only half of the year.
Okay.
It's July 1, 25 to the end of, or 24 to the end of the, if I understand, I mean, having just looked at this, I don't know. It is, nice that we're not doing closing books in Christmas time, but it's annoying as a seasonal town that our budgets are split halfway.
Yeah, I didn't think our budgets were split that way because the police department's like their full year.
Yeah. They're just calendar year. Everything from I understand it. And this is a great preview because I would like to ask the chair's permission to invite Nick Robertson to join us
Yeah.
in 2 weeks' time.
Yeah.
And he can help elucidate all of these questions.
Yeah.
I'm also in a learning position with you folks. But from a staffing perspective here, what let me move to harbor side because I can speak to the vision there. We envision, based in the candidate pool that we envision having 2 deputies and one will be on when the other's off. And then I'm also on, and then 1 or 2 seasonals so that
Queen Maxwell still.
she's not a candidate that I know of right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she's no longer the deputy.
No, currently nobody is. Position is open. And we're doing
Yeah.
Audition, I suppose, everyone, open auditions. So everyone, or whatever the thing is where everyone gets to try out for every part that they want. And then the casting directors get to staff the play. Going back to Nauset drama and when I was cast as like second ensemble boy in The King and I, was not talented. I couldn't sing then or now. So on the harbor side, the goal is going to shoot for boat qualified person available, like 8 to 7 or 8 to 6, depending on how those hours work out to hitting our budget goals, 7 days a week. And so that'd be a mixture of myself on full-time salary plus the seasonal positions drawing from the hourly side of the budget. And we have some excellent candidates. We've decided between deputy and seasonal assistant, to recognize both prior service and a very high level of boat handling skill to attract deputies and imbue them with greater responsibilities as well as greater pay to hopefully build a strong pipeline for all future seasons. And so we're envisioning having up to 2 deputies to provide that 7-day-a-week backup coverage to myself especially, and then seasonal assistant harbor masters, which is a much more flexible position. Those folks can work up to 40 hours a week, but we are also envisioning seasonal assistant harbor masters with specific areas of responsibility where they might execute those duties like an hour a day, but just keep some part of the operations which they are uniquely qualified or trained running smoothly. And so we're really happy to work around people's schedules on the seasonal side. So these positions are posted on the town website. If you go to the website and click on that, like town jobs, please direct your friends, colleagues, neighbors, anyone who you think might be interested. We are very happy to take folks even for a few hours a week if they've got a specific skill set and they can help our operation run more smoothly. And we're hoping again with Jamie's return to health interviews next week, and by end of April certainly have like the slate kind of locked and start dates figured out. So tiny numbers. I will send the slides around. We at town meeting on Monday did vote the FY26 budget, which starts July 1st into law. And so the finance team begged me not to ask them too many questions between 2 weeks ago and a week from now, while they have to report the budget to the state DOR. So this is what they sent me this morning. It's just a readout of what the budget was approved at the meeting. And so I suggest we dive deep into this in 2 weeks' time. There are other this is just our operating budget, the harbor budget. So it's staff, myself, part-time seasonal staff, as well as the harbor's portion of the office coordinator budget, full-time position, as well as all the operating expenditures. I apologize again for the tiny numbers. These were set months ago, and they look doable to me, but again, new in this job. So we will all learn together how this goes, but certainly will set us up very well for next year for having good input into the budget process. There are also 3 other sources of funds that generally benefit or improve the harbor. The 2 are special resource funds, and the 3rd is the harbor committee's gift fund. There's the harbor access gift fund, which is a special resource fund, which is funded by things you'll learn about in 2 weeks' time. There's the waterways fund, which is chapter 91. And then there's the harbor access gift fund, which can be funded by donations and other inflows. And that's one we have the most control over as a committee. And so projects that appeal to us, we can fund out of that one. But full discussion of that in 2 weeks' time. Continuing report with the dinghy dock was on the table last year or last meeting. And we are about to enter dinghy time. Dinghy permit day is April 15th. We've had some early folks already come and join us. And that scroll there, which is hard to see. Let me see if I can get you a bigger version of it. I have, first let me read these slides. So I suggest on all things dinghy, we form a subcommittee of 1 or 2 harbor committee members who are very passionate about it, plus myself as the harbor master to help execute plans. We have a nomination for Maria Morelli on the subcommittee. Is there a second?
I second that.
Seconded by Laura McCluskey.
Yes.
Really, yes.
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 Laura, yes.
Well, does Maria.
Maria, yeah.
Do you have anything to say?
Maria, you've been sentenced. Maria, I met with Noah and Malcolm this morning, and we talked in depth about what we could do both with good policies and enforcement, as you and I have discussed, and also with reconfiguring the physical arrangement of some of those piers, doing it in a way that doesn't require expensive modifications to the dock, and also does not trigger Army Corps or Chapter 91 permits, because as long as we don't expand the surface area or cover any parts of, there's wide latitude to rearrange the finger piers, especially the little wooden ones off of the main concrete one. And so I suggest as a subcommittee, we have a planning exercise where we might even on a large piece of paper.
The wave attenuator.
That is a great idea. We will, as a subcommittee, take that on. I'm now on the topic of the wave attenuator. I need to do more research and bring a better recommendation on its potential future uses. But I too have noticed a lot of very promising space that could serve many uses out there. It does a great job attenuating waves, but what more could it do? So Maria, if that sounds good to you, I can set up a meeting with you, me, and Malcolm in particular has from Flyers has some great ideas.
Jim, a couple of months ago about it.
Great.
Yes, I'm happy to do it again.
Great. Then some of them seem very quick to implement, and so we can probably get something done before the season.
Okay.
Dig it up. Great.
Let me know when next week's good. Or this week's good.
Fantastic. Yeah, you and I will talk offline.
Okay.
And finally, the harbor regs. Similar to dinghy dock, I suggest a regs subcommittee, which is 1 or 2 people who are deeply interested in Arcana to review the current.
I think if you want it, but you are wonderful with all of that. I actually think it would be worth bringing in Noah and Malcolm for that.
Yeah.
They mentioned interest this morning on that.
So maybe,
I think they're.
well, no, I think Marty is an amazing researcher and an amazing resource. I cannot tell.
Very
you.
cool.
I'm also an historical fan. The length and breadth of things that he knows is astonishing. It's like a library. And I don't want to put
On the spectrum.
I don't want to put I don't want to put any like undue pressure on him, but he is amazing.
SPE.
But knowing Malcolm with their practical experience, I think that bringing them in as sort of a liaison for the regulations would be very helpful.
No, it's not just Malcolm.
Hunter.
Oh, right.
The regulations I'm not as familiar with. I don't know.
Okay, so
Um,
I'll let Marty bow everyone, but the harbor plan, I would like to.
Yes.
Marty's baby.
Oh, yes, great.
You have people I know.
Marty, I have a whole book we can go over at great length.
I don't wanna give him too much, I don't give him the regulations, cause he's gonna make the harbor plan his baby, so.
Oh, okay.
And I did a whole thing.
I'm gonna take the regulations.
Your regs.
Yeah, the regulations too.
Oh, that would
Okay,
be good.
so
Maria.
how about Maria and I will work on regs with you and Noah and Malcolm.
Love it. I'm so glad that you're here, so I'm going to write this stuff down. Sounds great. That sounds, then Marty, it sounds like I would like you to walk me through the harbor plan as it currently stands, and you can help me understand how it came to be and opportunities for input and improvement.
Great.
Oh, yeah. When?
I'll reach out to you.
Yeah.
Does not have to be now. I don't want to put you on the spot now.
No, it's just that there's a,
There's a lot.
Yes,
So-
I've read the copies that I could find, so.
Very, very short is the harbor plan is due in
let's see, 4 years.
4 years, but
It was
that-
renewed last year, it's a 5-year, right?
No,
Oh,
it's a 10-year
10-year,
plan.
okay.
So we're over halfway through and we need to go to the state. So really we need, it's about 2 years out before where we want to have it kind of pretty thick and done so we can get it to the state.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of areas that Marty has,
The goals and the objectives, just so.
need to be
so-
fleshed out.
And we need to kind of keep up with them and just
Mhm.
mention them every.
Yeah.
And it's been hard to get any buy-in from any of the other departments and organizational groups.
Mhm.
Because they feel it's, I don't know what happened. They feel it's judgmental or that it's, but I'm asking them for their successes. I'm not even, I said, what about your successes?
I see.
So it's just been a reframing. I think we have to reframe
Yeah.
the approach to talking to people.
But yeah, I think that's a newer, I think Pete, you're very, like, this is all great. Like, this is so substantial. This is the most information I think we've received from a harbor master in a
Ever.
long time.
I don't want to
So,
go too
but I-
detailed or over dense.
No, I think it's great, and I think that, I know many members of the committee have felt very frustrated with sort of the stagnation. So I'm excited, and I know, I don't want to give Marty too much pressure, but he's so amazing with the harbor plan. and
Great.
So I think that.
I'm eager to be a resource to you
I
and to
think
partner with you
He
and
can assign us all different sections and we can help. I
wonderful,
don't want to put too much on him, but I would like it to be his child.
great.
And I would like everyone to think about, especially you,
Mm-hmm.
to think about a different group doing a harbor plan, the next harbor plan.
Hmm.
Opportunities are out there and a
Mhm.
lot of different, more modern approaches
Hmm.
and up-to-date thinking that might be helpful.
But
Certainly.
do you have a suggestion about that?
Yes,
Do you want to share it or not yet?
not yet.
We love a teaser for next time. That's good. Leave them
I
hanging.
think, I think the mayor Wu has been successful with a group
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, great.
and I like her,
Certainly.
Yeah.
but she had to rewrite hers. She threw hers out
Yeah.
in the trash.
Well, then, sometimes a restart is a good opportunity. Also in my bailiwick, and I heard good interest last meeting. And we'll bring a thorough review of the properties or the license of interest for next meeting is on chapter 91.
Who's Long Point Marina?
The Barry Clifford's. That's it, Barry Clifford's place at Charlotte.
So it's
That's technically the name of it, yeah.
not the way.
That was the tenant of that space, but the building is offered as Long Point Marina. So that one especially, Michaela, you had mentioned that it is useful to include a full briefing in chapter 91 as currently licensed in real estate transactions early.
Yes.
so that new owners can't claim surprise or ignorance, and so they can inform the sale process, and that seems relevant now that
Yeah.
property is for sale.
It's been for sale for quite some time.
Yes.
And I imagine it will continue to be for sale, but I have a lot of interest in the town figuring out a way to purchase it. I think that if, the town of Barnstable just bought or is in the process of buying a restaurant that's on their pier and to turn into sort of how Chatham has their Chatham
Yeah.
Fish Market here. And I don't think that Provincetown should be last. You know, I think we should be, you know, right up there with Chatham and certainly Barnstable. In terms of exposure on the pier and exposure for our fishing fleet, tourism, there's so many things. So I'd like to figure out a way through grant programming or whatever it is that we figure out a way to purchase it. And I would like, you know, this committee to come up with some creative solutions for that. To me, it seems like a waste. to have
What is this that you're
So
talking about? The
where-
big building with the bases on it?
No, that's Provincetown Marina. So on the pier, the building next to where the Hindu docks used to be the pirate museum, that's Atlantic Shark.
Yes.
So that is for sale for now, like a really insane price, but it has, I think, is it 12 slips?
Yeah, let me share our screen again. I can show you an aerial.
Wouldn't he be open to, I talked to Mark, wouldn't he be open to a long-term lease with the town?
So I don't think so.
Oh, I know.
Well, and I think the main issue is it needs significant repair work. So in order for us to apply for grants and stuff, I think we need to be the owner.
Yeah.
Because the municipality would be open to a lot more grants for repairs and repairs.
That's
Yeah,
it makes so much sense
it does.
for everybody.
So I mean, yeah, at that price, obviously, it's not,
For the low price.
but it's also,
There's a lot of-
yeah.
So it was relisted. So I think that's a great idea, and it would solve a lot of issues.
Yeah, every one of them.
So, give me directions when you come up with things I can help you pursue there. Give me instructions. Happy to follow.
You know, opening a conversation
Mhm.
with the owner and seeing if there's a way, this has been for sale for I don't know how many years. He wants to get rid of it. He's not gonna get that price from someone, particularly I think with the amount of construction that's gonna be happening over the next few years. And with coastal resiliency, I don't foresee that being, and the permitting that it takes between chapter 91 and Army Corps, I think it would be very difficult for, especially in this economy, for a private investor to purchase it for a restaurant. or anything like that. But I think it makes a lot of sense for the town, and I think that there would be a way for the town to work with the owner. I don't know the owner. So, but I can certainly get to know.
Yeah, how does when the town was made, like signature real estate purchases like this in the past, which department takes the lead? Or which,
I don't know, I guess that's a question for Alex,
yeah,
but.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think we can figure it out. I mean, I know that has been some. I think that there's some ways to get creative about it.
I certainly am connected to the owner now. I see him all the time, so
Great.
let me just figure out the right way to make that ask.
I only know. That's the other half. I only know Margot, the other half. Okay.
Well, there you go. I don't know them at all, so.
Yeah. They've both been great partners in my early days in this role, so.
Yeah, it's just.
Well, what is that building been used for in the past?
For many, many years, so Barry Clifford was, as a diver, I think like a treasure hunter. And, was
He
the
just
person,
wanted the, he's the one who owns it.
yeah, so he had the Wood Museum there for many, many years. And now, it's run out Is the Atlantic Shark Conservancy coming back there?
They are not, they left,
So it's vacant this year?
currently vacant. They're looking for opportunity, like pop-up retail, like any kind of opportunities to occupy that, pier side space.
And there was a bar there, way there.
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, currently it's not set up, or the inside's not, I took a tour of it, it's not built out for a restaurant, but one could, right? So,
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, I would like to just it
Yeah.
as like a sort of mini cannery and a fish market and a way for fishermen to sell direct to consumer year round.
So people-
I think
Cash
there's
reserves.
grant programming available for that.
Mm.
I
You had
think-
mentioned, Green is the name that comes to
Green
mind.
Legger, but the person that I've spoken to a little bit about this is, her name just went out of my head, Jennifer Bushman, who works, started an organization called Fed by Blue. She just came out with a program on PBS called Hope in the Water, and she is essentially a sustainable seafood lobbyist. And she works with communities and, we did a peer-to-plate program last year. She spoke, but like an example of something that she did is I think it was in Wisconsin, there was a dairy farmer whose herd needed to get pulled and he couldn't afford. She ended up getting him to become a shrimp farmer in Wisconsin, right? Getting above ground pools and then farming shrimp.
Oh my
And
gosh.
so, and got him all this like grant programming and stuff, so like very innovative kind of ways, and there's just so much blue economy
Hmm.
money. Who will continue to do that.
And also for some of the New Bedford out there, maybe
Yeah.
drop off some of their catch here,
Mhm.
because it's shorter.
Yeah.
distance, And that would be another
I'm
opportunity.
sure they would drop catch wherever there was a good buyer.
Yeah, so that's another opportunity.
And I mean, to me, it's, and
Win-win,
Yeah, yeah.
win-win-win.
There.
then also there's an opportunity.
So hard you get one win joke.
There's an opportunity for fishermen to have, like, there's a lot of generational fishermen here, like, Bo Gribbon has a daughter, Sarah, obviously Katie Townsend, Vanessa Rose, like, they're all kind of younger generations who maybe they could do a pop-up for a week where they did like a clam bar or an oyster bar or a lobster roll
Sarah Big
thing for a week. And
Yeah.
just, and that in itself is just such a way to showcase the heritage of Provincetown as well as the future, and bringing it like kind of, and we could bring in chefs and do test kitchen kind of stuff. Like there's a lot of different things that we could do with it.
It is a very adaptable looking space and it would be great to have it better activate all the uses of the pier in the town.
And Jen Bushman actually said like, if you do something like having a cannery, so like when I was in Alaska last year, we were just like everyone.
Hello, Shannon.
Like in an active meeting, I was told to come down here.
Yep.
Oh.
Oh, well, you can come and join us.
No, I was told to come down here about 2:45 to
Pick us up?
sign in for a different meeting.
Oh, we'll be done in a minute.
Okay, well, enjoy.
Thank you. But so all of the, obviously Alaska has sunlight and everyone's fishing and everyone's doing, so I was talking to this guy's a taxi driver who also fishes and he was like, that everyone cans their stuff and whether it's salmon, whether it's vegetables, whatever it is. And then they trade all winter. That's what they survive on. And like we're talking about being more sustainable. There's so many different ways.
And especially the Portuguese.
Yeah,
the one that
yeah.
does for other towns, the Portuguese cannery.
And Island Creek just opened a cannery in Bedford.
Yeah.
And I think that's the only cannery in the Eastern Seaboard right now, but a cannery, Jen Bushman was saying, actually essentially pays for itself almost within a year because of how, like, people can rent to use space, there's so many different ways, and she was saying, like, in Italy, where people have olive trees, like, there's, like, every town has, like, a general olive press that you can go use. And like, so why don't we have a cannery that like, I mean, that people have gardens, people have whatever, that it's not specific to canning fish, but it could be, and it's part of our heritage. And I think that that opens up not just blue economy grants, but historic
Sweet.
preservation grants, there's all these kind of other grants, and there's so many, not just public, but private grants that would be available. So I think it's something that we should explore.
I wonder if,
So when they catch the squid, they can just bring.
Yeah.
oh, yes.
Yeah.
I have heard that the
Mm.
splitters are an activity that the pier will be helping make successful
Yes,
and helping avoid it being not successful.
yeah, that's just
Um,
coming around.
yeah. Are there any other, that was I did not expect that. That was a great question and idea. And I think when Alex is back from his vacation, you and I should have a meeting with him
Great.
and start brainstorming about steps to take. Meanwhile, I'll reach out to Barry.
Yeah, I have talked to him a little bit about it, but just verbally, but
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's see what he says.
also for chapter 91, we had talked to Jim earlier, maybe in late fall, early winter, about having a chapter 91 sort of training briefing
Yes.
session. So I know he's, very busy, so I don't want to put pressure on him, but I think that it would be great to get everyone up to speed. We have a new board, we have a new harbor master.
A lot of things
I
have
think-
changed with that.
Yeah, a lot of things have changed. I think that it would be great to have he certainly is an expert.
Mhm.
So,
There is there we are, Harvard Pier. in our- Exactly. So I read it. I'm happy to I've lost it. I'm happy to walk folks through that at our next meeting as well. We could do like a initial training, and then any questions we generate from that we can't answer, we can have Jim come to the session after, and then we can really kind of
Oh.
dive deep. Doesn't look a good two-step.
I plan to do one anyway, so I think
Great.
we can follow up with him about that.
Great. Yeah, he and I, he chips away at it with me every time we
Okay.
meet. So
Great.
we're on a parallel kind of like onboarding.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, those were everything that I had for the Harbor Master report.
All right, does anyone have any? So let's put it on the agenda, or Pete and I can talk about it, but let's, is the next meeting too much for you, Marty? Do you want to do the meeting in May to start talking about the harbor plan?
Yeah, I will have to.
Okay, so let's, we'll table it for the next meeting, but let's either the first or second meeting in May, talk about the harbor plan after you guys have had an opportunity to talk. But I just want to give Marty a little bit of an opportunity to just talk to, again, we have a new board, and a new harbor master, and sort of talk a little bit.
Living document.
Yeah, and living document. We're not allowed to call it that. thing.
No,
Oh.
But I accidentally called it that.
I
and-
did, I
and-
wrote it.
Well, no, but I wrote it to DEP.
Yeah.
No. Oh, that makes it sound like we're not committed to what we write. If it's living, that's what they're afraid
Well,
of.
no, that it was like, they're like, no, what you have submitted to the state.
This is-
if it
ah,
is.
This
Yeah.
is.
You're not allowed to
You
change
can't
that.
evolve it until the next time
Yeah.
you get to.
It's
Whereas it was like, yes, this is the harbor plan, but it should be evolving, like, we should be thinking about it to put in the next.
like a
one.
quarter,
Yeah.
monthly report, a
Yeah.
quarterly review.
Yep.
and Six, just like a smart
Yeah.
Yeah,
goals
So-
and objectives.
we should start
Certainly.
thinking about that, and then we should
measurable,
start figuring
achievable.
out
Relevant, targeted.
what sections that,
Smart.
different members are interested in. And then people can start like flushing those sections out, or we can also talk about different community members who might be interested in,
It's nice that people would have a goal, then they
Yeah.
can work off the
Mhm.
goal with the
Yeah.
objectives and they
There's
can add stuff
yeah.
to it.
There's also previous harbor members who worked on the last one, who I'm sure would be interested in coming back, like Elise Kazi on the recycling committee, I'm sure would be happy to help. Laura Ludwig.
Laura's, that does
Yeah.
90% of that.
Um,
work.
Mhm.
So I
Not even.
Yeah, I think that there's quite a few, I don't think it's a much broader thing that shouldn't be specific to this
Sure.
committee, but I think
Yeah.
definitely spearheading it. But I think that we should bring in as many, Malcolm and Noah, yeah, I think, yeah, exactly.
Global town.
Yeah.
For all the different things.
Makes perfect sense.
And I would really like to bring Jen Bushman in, at some point.
To visit the committee or in on the plan or both?
And on the plan and like come up with creative ideas. To me, it's just like, it's like a colossal waste that the town focuses so little on our fishing industry, and not as a revenue stream.
Hmm.
Like for ourselves, like I think it's shameful that we spend so little, like, from a legacy standpoint, but from a revenue standpoint.
Mhm.
Like, we're just, there's so much money.
Very cool.
As long as the swordfish is.
And the shellfish, I think, has a,
Yeah, I mean, there's
has to
no,
be completely revamped.
yeah, I mean, why, like, why is Wellfleet getting all the credit for the oysters?
And that was a point of contention, in all of the plans.
Yeah,
And, it just has to be revisioned.
like, why doesn't Provincetown have an oyster festival?
And why more people can't be involved in the oyster, not just the community, but all the people, because there's a lot of people that really have things to say about it.
Yeah,
Positive things,
Yeah.
not,
Relevantly, the Shellfish Constable works now in the Harbor Department. And so he and I have been meeting and he's been very helpful in orienting me towards some parts of that history. Do you folks see a need or a utility to a joint like Shellfish Harbor Committee?
yeah,
Effort?
at some point.
Okay.
I think let's get our,
sucks somewhere.
yeah,
Yeah, okay, great.
but I think working collaboratively, I think we've all been pretty happy with the pier and harbor joint meetings. I think that
Great.
those kind of like work sessions where we're working collaboratively have been good, and I'd like to see that with Shellfish.
Yeah, it's just been, kind of off
Yeah.
and nobody can get through that.
Is there, Good,
With the
Maria.
shell-
Go
It's
ahead.
not it's the distributor. There's only one distributor and he doesn't want to separate between Wellfleet and Provincetown because he said it's too much work.
Right, but
That's
if we
So much
have,
work.
if we have a HACCP facility on the pier,
Right,
the shellfishermen can actually sell direct to consumer, like people could go in and buy a bag of oysters.
yeah, that would be amazing.
And I think, Maria, just because I think it's the restaurateurs, I think that they have to come and the chefs have to come. And there's a lot of people that really have a lot to say about it. That are restaurateurs and they should be a part of the conversation. I mean, they really should be a part of it.
While we're on the topic of collaborations with our colleagues across departments and committees, I'm meeting with the Conservation Committee and our conservation lead here in Town Hall. Yep. Are there any topics that you folks have addressed in past harbor issues that you want me to become much better informed on? How would you?
Melissa knows, she's the kind of also has the chapter 91, so conservation is the only regulatory board that has any teeth that can do anything with chapter 91.
Mhm.
So,
Parking on.
well, we, as you know, we sent a letter to the select board, we're waiting to hear back from them.
I watched that select board meeting and they were a little bit
Yeah,
pushed off to the side.
I don't think, again, I don't think that they understand that it's not a choice that they can make to just not be in compliance. And if that's a choice that the town is making, how can the town then enforce other,
Any complaints?
any compliance?
So if we start off hard and it will lead us to the negotiation table with a more opportunity for, I suppose my
Yeah.
thought that way of doing.
Nice.
Probably
It
is.
might be, so, yeah, I think we're wrapping up, we're just.
Thank you.
All right, seems like there is another meeting, so if anyone has any ideas of anything that they'd like on the next agenda, just get it to me or Pete by next Thursday, and we'll, have something. And then Jody, thank you so much for doing minutes, it'll be really nice to have minutes again.
Thank you as well.
And whoever doesn't know Jody, Laura, and Pete, I don't know that before, but Jody's wonderful and takes wonderful minutes.
What? That's great.
Yeah.
I hope those entertaining as the peer 4 minutes I was reading.
Does anyone have anything else? Otherwise, I'll make a motion to adjourn. Is there a second?
A second.
Laura McCluskey, second. All in favor?
Marty, yes.
Maria, yes.
Laura,
yes.
and Michaela, yes. All right, thanks, guys.
And thank you in advance for the.